Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 241 of Bill Man the Sport Guys podcast. I'm your host, Bill Man the Sports Guy. Always remember for the latest weekly news of the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, college sports, WNBA, this is the podcast to be. Today's episode is very simple. We're going to go over the final NFL power rankings to basically sim the regular season. And I'm also going to give you the playoffs and who I have winning the 2025 Super Bowl. All right, here we go. So let's start with the power rankings from the final Sunday of the NFL season. At number 32, I have the New York Jets. If you're a Jets fan, good riddance that the season came to an end. The fact that they did not caught an interception once. And Garrett Wilson was basically the best player all season long. And so was Sauce Gardner before he got traded to the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, real messy year for the Jets. And will they even get better? Only time will tell. Number 31, I would say the most disappointing team ever in the NFL, the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, from Pete Carroll to Geno Smith leading the league in interceptions, Ashton Jeffrey doing okay. Yeah, this season was a bit of a disappointment, not gonna lie. Number 30 is the Tennessee Titans. Look, Cam Ward showed some strides this season, but we all knew the Titans were not going to be good this season. At number 29, I have the Cleveland Browns. Now, even though they did beat the Cincinnati Bengals, and Myles Garrett did get the all-time NFL sack record, if I'm being honest, the Cleveland Browns were kind of interesting. They really had something going on defensively. But offensively, they were kind of all over the place. And we're going to see soon, hopefully, who their new head coach will be because Kevin Stefanski was let go today. Safe to say he did not do a good job coaching the Cleveland Browns. Number 28 is the Arizona Cardinals. Can this team please just figure out a direction? Yeah, they lost to the Los Angeles Rams, but again, in the entire Kyler Murray era, they start out good, but then, oh no, they fall off the cliff. And this season was really no different. So, what are they going to do to get us to believe in them again? Number 27 is the New York Jets. Good win against the Dallas Cowboys. I think Jackson Dart might be their number one quarterback, but we'll see what he does in his sophomore season. Number 26 is the New Orleans Saints. Though I think they had a winning streak ended. They were on like a 4 or 5 game winning streak at one point. And hey, the Saints did not bad. Let's see what's the next big steps they could take. Number 25, another disappointing team this season. Well, to some, maybe. The others probably aren't surprised. I wasn't surprised. Is the Kansas City Chiefs. For this entire season, the Chiefs were just hurt in the wide receiver, tight end, running back department. Xavier Worthy is their true number one. But everybody else, including Travis Kelce, was a bit of a struggle. And also Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL. So how are the Chiefs going to do next season? I don't know. Could they maybe convince Aaron Rodgers to play with them for another season? Who knows? And also, is Travis Kelce done? That's going to be the one question for the Chiefs in the offseason. Number 24 is the Washington Commanders. I'm not going to lie. I thought they would do better this season, but they were really hit with the injury bug all season long. So my hope is that the Commanders can improve and be healthy all of next season. So number 23, the Miami Dolphins. Is anybody shocked Josh McDaniels is still head coach of the Miami Dolphins? I am. Another team that just simply needs to figure out what direction they're gonna go. Even though, and yeah. By the way, you got destroyed by Drake May and the New England Patriots. Anyway, number 22 is the Dallas Cowboys. I told you the Dallas Cowboys weren't going to make the postseason. Ryan Clark. Dan Orlowski, ESPN. Yeah. What did I say? Dak Prescott, top 15 quarterback at best, but definitely not top 10, maybe top 20. CeeDee Lamb did fine. Defense was awful. Offense was mediocre. George Pickens had a nice season. Jameson Williams had a good season, but that was about it. So yeah, another year where Jerry Jones is gonna say Cowboys will win the Super Bowl, and survey says they don't. I don't know. They're not gonna make another playoffs for another 6, 7 weeks or 6, 7 months. Actually, 67 years. That's that's just how I think about the Cowboys. Most overrated team. I mean, yeah, they got like what, 6, 7 wins? That's about it. All right. Number 21, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals started off a little rough, but then Joe Burrow was out for a long time. So, what do they got to do? Number one, I think they need to improve the defense. The fact that the offseason, they did next to nothing outside of extending Trey Hendrickson. Joe Burrow, is he going to want to play next season? With rumors are that he might want to call it a career. Who knows? Number 20, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yikes. The Buccaneers started off good, but then they fell off a cliff and missed the playoffs. What are the odds? Um, yeah, I think the Bucks are going to want to come very hungry for next season. Number 19 is the Atlanta Falcons. I'm hoping to see more strides from them next season. And today's game, they beat the New Orleans Saints by 2, but I want to see, more from them next season. I feel like they took some strides, to say the least. Number 18 is the Indianapolis Colts. What on earth happened? The Colts started off at 7-1, only to go 8-9, miss the playoffs. I'll admit, at one point, they looked like they were really proving me wrong, but they kind of fell back to earth and finished with an 8-9 record. Riley Leonard, 21 for 34, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. DJ Gins, Alex Pierce looked good, but it wasn't enough to beat CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. Number 17 is the Los Angeles Chargers. They were a no-show, but I thought they took some strides. 11-6, and hey, they're in the postseason, so Trey Lance looked pretty good. Keenan Allen still playing like it's nothing. And, let's see how Justin Herbert does come postseason. Number 16 is the Minnesota Vikings, or as I like to refer to the Minnesota sport teams, the Minnesota Frauds. And, well, JJ McCarthy sophomore year. What's that going to look like? Plus, can JJ McCarthy remember that he has other weapons? He's got Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones. But let's give Justin Jefferson the ball more because he's actually one of the best wide receivers, top 10 in the NFL currently. So, yeah. Not shocked Minnesota missed the playoffs at all, if I'm being brutally honest. And we'll see how tough and competitive the NFC North is going to be because Chicago did really good. Green Bay barely hung on and made the playoffs. Detroit was okay. Minnesota, but they got their record, I think, above 500 or at 500. Yeah, 9-8. The entire NFC North finished the division above 500. All right. Number 15 is the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah. Not only did they lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers by 2, who predicted the Ravens to go all the way and win the Super Bowl this year? I did. And look, I'll accept it if I'm wrong. Yeah, I think had the Ravens not gone on a 5-game losing streak after week 1, I think we would have had a different conversation, but it is what it is. Number 14 is the Detroit Lions. just missed the playoffs at a 9-8 record, and it kind of, while good way to end their season on a 1916 win over the Chicago Bears. Jared Goff looked like Jared Goff. Jahmyr Gibbs was amazing. Amara St. Brown was really good. So, yeah, I think losing Ben Johnson, which obviously, if you're a Bears fan, you're going to want to thank the Detroit Lions for giving you Ben Johnson as the head coach. And also, Aaron Glennon, the defensive coordinator, was the head coach of the New York Jets. So I think the Lions will be fine. I think they'll be better, but I really believe this season it kind of showed that losing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glennon really hurt. Number 13 is the Carolina Panthers. Another team that really surprised me. For a while, it looked like they weren't even going to make the playoffs at all, but hey, they made it to the playoffs. Kudos to them. Now, the Panthers would lose 16-14 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but hey, let's see how Bryce Young does in the postseason. I'm very curious to see how he's going to do. Number 12, the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's not a lot for me to talk about when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I kind of said this before week one or after week one, somewhere around there. But my point is this: the Pittsburgh Steelers, until further notice, they're going to finish at 500 or above and at times make the playoffs. So, yeah, that's really all I got to say about the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, DK Metcalf was good. Aaron Rodgers was fine. He wasn't the Green Bay MVP, but, he did okay. And, hey, Mike Tomlin, one of the best head coaches in all the NFL. Dare I say, top 10 all time. Number 11, the Green Bay Packers. Uh, you'll see later on how far I got the Packers going in the postseason, but not gonna lie, I'm pretty nervous. Why? Because the NFL playoffs are basically you either win or go home. It's not like baseball, hockey, or football or basketball where you get 5 to 7 games. Because for the first round baseball, you get to play 5 in total. Like you gotta win 3 out of 5, then 7. Um, Also hockey and basketball, you get 7 games and you gotta win 4. Football, you either win or go home. So, and another reason, Packers are on a 4-game losing streak. We've been pretty banged up for the past month. And while I'm happy Jordan Love is coming back and healthy, how's he gonna do against the Chicago Bears? Because we all know Jordan Love, by far, did very good in his first season against the Dallas Cowboys, only to lose to, I'm pretty sure it was the San Francisco 49ers. And against the Philadelphia Eagles last season, yeah. Although, I hope Micah Parsons comes back healthy. I hope Josh Jacobs is 100% healthy. Yeah, I'm going to put Green Bay at 11. And also, the game against the Vikings, they kind of treated it as a whatever game, which I didn't understand that, especially that they're now on a 4-game losing streak heading into the postseason, which if you want your team to go all the way to the playoffs, you got to be hot at the right time. And it's safe to say the Packers were not hot at all heading into the postseason. Number 10, the San Francisco 49ers. Kudos to them. While the 49ers, yeah, they lost, but they were not bad. 12-5. Do I think they're Super Bowl contenders at the end of the day? No. But, they finished in the 6th seed, and Brock Purdy was solid, so kudos to the 49ers. Number 9 is the Houston Texans. Hey, good for them that they made it to the playoffs. Um, at times, the offense looked a little rusty, but they've gotten better as the season went on, so I'll give the Houston Texans credit where credit is due. At number 8, from the last NFL week, the Chicago Bears are going to land at number 8 on my power rankings. Now, I still stand where I stand. Anybody who tells me the Bears are going to win the Super Bowl, I just say you're crazy. But I got some questions about the Chicago Bears heading into next season. While they did lose by 2 to the Detroit Lions, Caleb Williams looked fine. Caleb Williams' overall stats against the Lions threw for 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he did throw an interception. DeAndre Swift had 40 yards, 10 carries. Holston Loveland, is he going to stick around? Because he did get a touchdown and he carried the ball for 91 yards. However, how much better will the Bears be next season, despite what happens in the postseason? Hear me out. 2018. I know the Bears made the playoffs in 2020, but let's picture 2018 for a second. 2018, the Bears finished 12-4. They made the postseason. They also won the NFC North. What happened to the Chicago Bears, you may ask? Double doink. Cody Parkey. Remember him? That field goal? And it hit off the post. And the Chicago Bears 2019, I believe they finished at around 500 or a little lower, but they did not make the playoffs. So, can the Bears finish next season 500? And depending how far they go in the postseason, can they get better to go forward? You know, it's not that I don't think the Bears will win. It's that every time I hear people say the Bears are going to be good, the Bears are going to be good every single year, I just flat out refuse to believe it. It's just time that we see it on the field. So far, they've shown us this season with their final regular season being 11-6. That's pretty good. Now, can we consistently see it instead of we're really good and make the playoffs to we stink and didn't make the playoffs and for numerous years? That's why I have some question marks about the Chicago Bears. Now, how far will they go? Only we'll wait and see. Number 7, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Another team that has really surprised me. Not only did they take the Tennessee Titans to school with a 41-7 record, they got another winning season. And Trevor Lawrence, man, was he balling. Completed 22 out of 30 of his entire passes, threw for 255 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Travis Etienne Jr. looks like a number 1 running back, and Parker Washington looks like to be part of the core for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And hey, they made the postseason. Good for them. Number 6, the Denver Broncos. Another good, solid season. They were on a 10-game winning streak at one point, and I think Broncos could surprise some people in the postseason. Might want to watch out for the Denver Broncos. Number 10. Wait a minute. 11, 10 is supposed to be the Philadelphia Eagles. 11 is Green Bay Packers. Yeah, 5 is the 49ers, and hey, good season. I already talked about the 49ers and the Steelers. Oh, I didn't talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, I gotta admit, this is the thing I gotta be better at next season is where I place teams. Because I gotta admit, there's been a few times where I've forgotten. But the Philadelphia Eagles will go at number 10. And the 49ers are technically at number 5, but we're gonna skip them because I already talked about them. Eagles really quick. Streaky. They didn't really look like the Eagles that they were last season, so let's see how much better they get next season. And do I think they're going to go back-to-back in the Super Bowl? It's possibly, but I just don't see it happening, and you're going to find out why. Number 4 is the New England Patriots. Another team that really surprised me big time. Out of nowhere, the Patriots came out balling, and they're now in the postseason as the number 2 seed. So, Patriots, let's see how good the Drake May era is going to be. Now, number three is the Seattle Seahawks. Uh, Sam Darnold did amazing for the Seattle Seahawks, and I wouldn't be shocked if they go deep in the postseason. Number 12 is the Los Angeles Rams. I had some concerns about the Rams, and it's safe to say they proved me wrong. While they did finish with a 12-5 record, Matthew Stafford, oh man, and to end his season, completed 25 or 40 of his passes, threw for 259 yards, four touchdowns. If Matthew Stafford wins another Super Bowl, does this give him Hall of Fame chances? Only time will tell. And an MVP candidate. Number one, the Buffalo Bills. Not only did they took the New York Jets to school, Josh Allen, actually Mitch Trubisky played. Remember him? And he did pretty well for the Bills. But we're going to find out why I'm going to mention the Buffalo Bills because we're going to go into my postseason predictions. That's it for the power rankings. It's time for the postseason. So we're going to go AFC first before we do the NFC. Okay. Now, I believe the Buffalo Bills are going to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars and verse Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Now, between the Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Texans have been playing a lot better lately. So I'm obviously going to give it to the Texans. And between the New England Patriots, now the other reason why is the Steelers at times looked a bit streaky, and I just think the Texans have been a little bit better than the Steelers lately this season, so that's why. And the Texans are going to verse the New England Patriots, in my opinion. I have them beating the Los Angeles Chargers. I just don't see the Patriots stopping anytime soon. And the way Drake May's been playing all season long, I think is going to play a big part. And next up, to make it into the final round before the Super Bowl. So between the Denver Broncos and the Buffalo Bills, I think it's going to be the Buffalo Bills. And the big reason is Josh Allen does not have to deal with Patrick Mahomes. I think this is his best chance. I think he's going to beat and upset the Denver Broncos. I believe the Bills have been one of the better teams, not just in Buffalo, but in the NFL in the past four seasons. Now, between the Houston Texans and the New England Patriots, I'm going to give it to the New England Patriots. Kind of like what I said against them and the Los Angeles Chargers. I think the Patriots are just going to be too much for the Houston Texans to deal with. And I think Drake May is going to move on versus Josh Allen. Then to the Super Bowl, I think Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills will be in the Super Bowl in St. Clair, California. This is his best chance. Josh Allen has not had a good chance at winning the Super Bowl until now. And I think this is the season he finally does it. So we're now going to do the NFC with the Seattle Seahawks on a bye week. So between the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers, I think it's going to be the Eagles. I believe the Eagles are going to find a way to get it done against the 49ers. I think Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Javonte Smith, they're going to get it done. And the Eagles defense, they're going to find a way to make it impossible for Brock Purdy. And I like the way they've been playing a little bit better as of lately. Now, the Los Angeles Rams and the Carolina Panthers. Well, I think, judging by the playoff bracket that I'm looking at ESPN.com, I believe it is going to be the Rams. I think the Rams are going to play the Seahawks. The Carolina Panthers are a very young team, and right now they just don't have enough playoff experience. Compared to the Rams, they do. And the Rams, they're just going to give it to them all over the Carolina Panthers. Now, the next matchup between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. Fun fact, this is the third time ever the two franchises have versed each other. Last one being 2010, where the Green Bay Packers beat the Chicago Bears 28-10 off of my memory. And the other time they versed each other is back in 1941, where the Bears destroyed the Packers 33-14. That's pretty crazy to think. All right. So, in the end, both teams have been on a losing streak. I mean, come on. I'm obviously going to go the Green Bay Packers. I think they're going to go on and verse the Philadelphia Eagles in the next round of the NFC part of the playoffs. Now, between the Packers and the Eagles, I want Green Bay to win the Super Bowl, but I think their season is going to come to a crashing end against the Philadelphia Eagles. There's a reason why the Eagles completely exposed the Packers. There's a reason why they exposed everyone in the playoffs last season, including Patrick Mahomes. And the one time they versed each other, Philadelphia beat them 10-7. So I just think Philadelphia is going to be too much for Green Bay to handle. Now, between the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams, two very good teams playing against each other, I'm going to give it to the Rams. I think they're going to upset the number one Seahawks. I think Sam Darnold is doing good, but I think Matthew Stafford is going to show why he is a legit playoff performer. And I think the Rams are going to come out firing all cylinders. Now, who do I have playing the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl? I got the Los Angeles Rams. And in the end, I have the Buffalo Bills as the Super Bowl champs. I think, as I've said before, this is the Bills' best chance to win the Super Bowl now. This is the easiest path for Josh Allen. For the big reason that he doesn't have to deal with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think Josh Allen is going to outduel Matthew Stafford in the postseason. And I just want to see something good happening to the city of Buffalo in the sports world, because we all know the hockey team, the Sabres, are on a long playoff drought. Wouldn't be shocked if they missed the playoffs again. And the Bills have been good, but when it came to postseason, they've always seemed to disappear. So, this concludes today's episode with my final power rankings and the playoff bracket, which I have the Bills winning the Super Bowl over the Los Angeles Rams. This concludes episode number 241 of Bill Man the Sport Guys podcast. I'm your host, Bill Man the Sports Guy. For the latest weekly news of the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, college sports, WNBA, this is the podcast to be. Have a good evening, everybody. Stay tuned for episode number 242. Peace.